Hello and welcome back. Today I have the most amazing judge ever on our books today. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Vicki Chisholm. I am a psychic business strategist and founder and creator of the Business Ascension Symposium and Awards, the UK's first spiritual entrepreneur awards, which is really exciting. But to make these awards what they are, I needed to source external judges because I didn't want the responsibility. And I didn't want to be the one that gets to say, you get a trophy and you don't. So I'm going to welcome into our space, Katie Birkett. Hello, Katie.
Hi, Vicky. Hi. Hi, everybody. So I'm Katie Birkett, and I'm completely honoured to be asked for a judge for Vicky's event. It's something of a personal journey I've been going through for the last 2 years. And it just, when Vicky was talking about her event and the symposium and the awards, it just felt with what I do with my own coaching businesses, with my own businesses, so aligned. And when she asked me if I could be a judge, it was a yes straight away. So thank you, Vicky.
Oh, my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. And one of the reasons that I asked Katie to be a judge is not because she publishes her spirituality anywhere, but it was actually because of her experience and skills in building a business and knowing what it takes to get there. So, Katie, you've run multiple seven-figure businesses. You've got all kinds of different businesses. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I am what would you class as the typical serial entrepreneur. I started my first business at 19 and sold it at the age of 23 for my first six figures. My career has been very different. From a very early stage, I had a drive and ambition to do something. And whatever my school and education was telling me I should be doing, I had something inside me going, no, there's something bigger and greater, more. Even from working in my first part-time jobs, I suddenly realized I saw opportunities of how businesses can grow. I saw vast gaps in businesses where people are leaving money on the table, and all it took was a simple little tweak, and we could increase the revenue of a business by fivefold really, really easily. It's something I'm passionate about. And over the last 27 years that I have been running my own businesses, and certainly the last 2, 3, 4 years, I really been thought about what is it that I have? What skill set do I really have? And I have a secret power, and it is a secret power because I'm going to start owning my powers now. And my power is that I understand business. And this is the difference. Many people start businesses or make the transition from being an employed to a self-employed, whether they're full-time in it or part-time in it or have it as a side hustle, because they identify a gap or an opportunity, or they're just fed up with the grind of working for somebody else. They don't have the flexibility, and they come with a skill, and then they start building that business with a skill set. Well, my skill set is I don't necessarily have a skill set. I've worked predominantly for 18 years in the fitness industry, but actually my skill set is business. I understand business, but I understand business on a bootstrap level. So I have, like Vicky says, I've got multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses. I'm in the process of building another 7-figure business and an 8-figure business at the very moment as well, which will be next 2026, will be a big, big part of them. But looking back and how I do it came apparent in COVID. And I know we don't want to go back in that era. I know we're 5 years on, but I had a lovely opportunity, and I'm always one. People say I'm a big risk taker. I'm not. I just find opportunities and then I go bashing down doors, because I'd always like to say I took an opportunity rather than go, I wish I did something. I don't want regrets in my life. So in COVID, a lot of my network were having conversations that people were basically going to have to close their businesses. And these were big corporate businesses. These were doing multiple 7 figures a year, up to 8 figures a year. And it was just, they couldn't go anymore. The pandemic just wiped them out overnight. And I sat, and these were friends of ours that we've known, and said, well, just look, give me the business. Let me have a look at your business over a week and let's see what we can do before you declare bankruptcy or tell your staff that, you know, they're just not on leave, that they're permanently going to lose their positions. And I very quickly identified over 28 businesses between 2020 and 2021 that the gaps they were missing in their business to enable them to pivot, to carry on, was foundations and business basics. They managed to succeed in growth and scaling, but it's like building a house with no solid foundations. So as soon as something came and rocked that house, it was ready to crumble. And I think that's where I've had my own personal success in my own businesses. I built them all from the same foundations, the same 90-day framework, every single business I do, all on Bootstrap as well. And for Bootstrap, people are going like, what's Bootstrap? So I'm a Bootstrap business builder. Basically, Bootstrap is when you have very little of your own money to start building your own business. You don't have investment, you don't have fancy degrees, you don't already have a team of people, you don't have startups, you're not pitching, you've dipped into your savings or you've saved a bit of money and you're building it alongside either working full-time, or you've come from a place where you might have not been in work, been unemployed, now you want to start your own business. That is a bootstrap business. And I have created mine through, it doesn't matter whether you've got time, whether you've got money, or whether you've got the finance or even the knowledge. You might have some of them or you might not have some of them. You can create a wildly successful business. And this is where my own journey has taken me for the last 2 years. And my journey's taken me because we all hear, Vicky, so everybody who has their own business, and people say, oh, no, it's not like that. But guaranteed, 100%, everybody I've worked with over the last 10 years helping people build their businesses want 3 freedoms. They wanted time freedom or location freedom or financial freedom. They either want all 3 or they want one of them. So for me, it's location freedom. I just want to be sunshine. Wherever blue skies and sunshine is, that's where I want to be. But what we're missing is a 4th freedom. And the more I've stepped into my own spiritual journey with my businesses, I've realized that actually spiritual freedom is the underpinning to guarantee all those 3 other freedoms. And the reason this is it is because when you align with what you do or what you're wanting to do, it changes from you building a business to be your own boss to building a business with purpose to serve others and fulfill what's happening inside yourself. And when the tough gets going, you can have time freedom, but when the tough gets going, you need to put more time in. When the tough gets going, you can have location freedom, but you might have to put more hours in or come back to an office space or expand. So where you might be traveling, or you might have 3 days off a week guaranteed, you're suddenly working 5 days a week. Or financial freedom, suddenly having to put money into the business to grow, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm used to cash flow, now I've got no cash flow. Spiritual freedom is the only freedom that will hold you no matter what.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's keeping that. And when I say spiritual freedom, for me, it's keeping me aligned with my values. It's keeping my work purpose driven. It's me stepping out for my authentic self. And it's me building a legacy that's going to impact other people's lives. And all those 4 areas is the underpin to any business. Now that sounds like a lot, and I've been working through, and the more I work through, the more the clearer the picture gets for me. But we all start a business for a reason. Vicky, why did you start your business?
Well, I was kind of forced into it because I became completely and utterly unemployable as a mother of 3 children under the age of they were under the age of 8 at that point, and when one got sick, another got sick, and then the other got sick. So I could have 3 weeks off of work out of a whole month, which made me completely and utterly unreliable. And the work I was doing at the time wasn't something I could do at home. But before I kind of set up the business, I was in an employed role, and I was working 8 till 6, 5 days a week. And then in the evenings and weekends, I was going on call. So I was always on and raising 3 children. My nursery bills alone were £1,200 a month. And ultimately, by summer of that year, I ended up quite unwell. And that made me realize that I can't do that job anymore and be a mum and survive. Something had to give. So the job gave. I had to recover from that period of unwellness, which was a lot of psychological unwellness. And then I had to rebuild and say, well, what am I going to do? And I basically then had to pull in everything that I'd ever learned. So I was a qualified bookkeeper, which I wasn't utilizing. I was brilliant with administration and organizing other people. And, they used to, through my agency work that I used to do, they used to hire me as a support worker to go and sort out their CQC paperwork before Ofsted reports, because I'd go through the files and organise and sort everything out and make sure the boxes were ticked, and probably why I hate ticking boxes these days. But so I was that person that made sure everything was sorted and everything, but it was my safety net as well. That OCD need for everything to be just right I didn't have OCD. It was just a way that I was. Everything had to be in its way. Control. I was complete control. It was something I could control. So then I just went with the business, and it just went from, doing small things to learning. I started learning more things. I went and did I think I was one of the first in the UK to do a social media diploma in 2012, 2013. Yeah, 2013. And I just kept building and building. Marketing flowed to me. It wasn't even something I had to really think about. I just tapped into my client's business and went, okay, you need to do da, 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 da. We need to get you here, here, and here. And boom, I was getting my clients incredible results just by tapping into what they needed. I didn't know I was channeling at the time. So that's how my business started. And my goodness, has it evolved over the years.
That's the beautiful thing about business. And this is what I love about business, because the reason you start a business is normally out of inspiration or desperation. And with both of them, it's because something's not working for you now at that point, but it's also there is something inside you bubbling away, an opportunity, a niggle. And there's that crossover from making that jump to, I believe in myself. I can believe I can do it. And then business happens. But what a lot of people realize, and where I come in and help people, I would go from transition from being employed to self-employed, or their first few years in business, or when they've created a business and gone like, oh, I didn't realize I had to wear so many different hats, and I'm this and that, and what do I prioritize, and I need to hire somebody but I haven't got the money to hire somebody. It's because the spiritual freedom element is missing. And this really, when this connected with me 2 years ago, what would normally take me about 16 months from start to build a six-figure hitting 7 figures, I could do in 9 months from starting scratch, from absolutely nothing. And when I realized it's the spiritual freedom element that having, when you start a business, so you go from the inspiration to desperation, people go, you've got to have a why. What's your why? And a lot of us go, well, it's my children, or I just need to pay the bills, or I don't want to do that. I'm here to disrupt the business. And I'm sorry, Simon Sinek, who talks about his why. Your why is not strong enough. Your why works for today. Your why works for tomorrow. But actually, to build a successful business, to generate that time, the location, the financial freedom, you need to really step into what and why you're doing that business. And this is the spiritual. So you need to start with the end in mind. And you need to go, well, what does my business look like in 3, 5, 10 years time? And this is where I give people permission to dream. whether they're in survival mode, whether they're in thriving mode, whether they're in pivot, whether they're about to grow. Not many people dream beyond 12 months.
No.
And actually, when you connect, go, actually, I started my business, I've got my business going, my why's moving all the time, because when you hit 5 figures, it's no longer about maybe this financial security. It's like, well, actually, I'd like some more time now. So can I build the business to give me a few more hours a week off? Oh, I've got that now. So can I build the business where I can maybe take the wholesome holidays off? Your why moves. Whereas if you've got an end and you've got that vision and that dream, aligning you with your purpose, your authentic self, your alignment with your values, that is the biggest transition. And when I say spiritual, I mean the meaning. What's going on there? Who are you actually helping? Why are you helping them? Because your business is actually bigger than you.
Yeah.
And once you understand that connection and how you can become spiritually aligned from where you are today to where you really want to be, the gap in between, you can then sort out whatever that gap looks like, whether it's something you want to move from the 5 figures to 7 figures, whatever that gap is looking at, where you are now to where you want to be, create successfully the time, the financial and location freedom. But nobody talks about this for freedom, the spirituality, and what business does. And it has taken me on my own journey, Vicky, to realise that that underpins everything. Because if you don't realise what you're wanting to achieve long term, and I could always say, I mean, when I built my first business when I was 19, when my son was born, I was banging to full, actually running 2 businesses at the time when my son was born. My son's now gone to university. He's leading his own path, his own life. So yes, I still want a legacy. I still want to be able to go on holidays with him. I still want to help him out in his future. But that why's no longer big enough for me. But actually, me wanting to help and have a legacy to help people build their businesses on a bootstring and literally enable every entrepreneur to have affordable, accessible resources to help them build their business. It's no longer about me. It's about a legacy I'm leaving and creating for other people so they can have wildly successful lives, whatever that looks like for them.
Yeah, I hear that.
And the more I tap into this, the more I realise how much it's been missing. And when I look back over my 27 years in business, I've had some real major F-ups in business. I've had failures. I've had lessons learned. And I realised, actually, if I had my spiritual side first as a key foundation of building a business, many of them wouldn't have happened.
I do kind of have to jump in there. Just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you're not going to fuck up, because you are.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just so you know.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty about businesses. We're creating the business foundations. You can pivot whatever happens, and you are. That is a business. A business is there to be chaotic. Sometimes the more chaos it is, it's more beautiful because it sends you down a path you never even saw. But however, if you're living in that spiritual, if something happens, like I did with COVID, a pandemic happened, I could step in and save 28 businesses.
Yeah.
Because I suddenly built and put the missing pieces that were in their business to help them pivot. And like your journey, you aren't doing the business today, Vicky, that you started all those years ago.
No, I'm
And I
not.
bet where you are now feels more aligned with you.
Yeah, where I am now is like I never could have imagined that I'd be where I am today. Never. And it has all been completely and utterly channeled every part of my journey has been completely channeled so far. Like, go and do this. Okay, great. Let's go and do that then. Oh, now you've got to go and do this. What? Okay, let's do that then. And each time they give me another download, it's more uncomfortable and uncomfortable and uncomfortable. But this is the beauty of spirituality. And it's just what we get to run with, isn't it? Like, if you told me 10 years ago I would have released the world's first business tarot deck, I would have said, what are you talking about? Don't be so ridiculous. I never would have believed that. If you told me I'd be the one that's creating the UK's first Spiritual Entrepreneur Awards, I never would have believed you that I'd be doing that. If you told me that I was doing anything that I'm doing today 10 years ago, I would have laughed at you in your face. But this is the beauty of that evolution. Every time you take one step forward, you achieve it, you move forward, and you keep going. You know, if you told me I'd have 29,000 students in miniature courses that I pulled together to help other people, I never would have believed that would be a possibility, but it is. And that's part of business that I absolutely adore, because the creativity and the impact that you get to create is, as you said earlier, way bigger than I am.
I think that's it. It's waves. Business is waves. People go into business and think it's very much, well, business, metrics, KPIs, revenue, because we normally come from an organization or a corporate situation or a society that said, oh, you've got to tick this, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and that enables a business. But it's not. A business is an involvement from one idea, one concept.
Mm.
And what a lot of people, when I come in like a little, I feel like I'm the RNLI for businesses. I strap on my life jacket, I go out, I wade out, I pull them in. And the bit they're missing is the alignment of why they started the business. They've forgotten that purpose and where they really want to be with it, because they're so busy with business. And actually, once I say just breathe, dream. What does it look like? And like, oh, I can't. It's like, no, this is your dream. It can be anything you want in the future. You can have absolutely anything. And once you've got that dream, and once you've got that clarity, and once you're feeling it inside, and you've got that wave of excitement and those butterflies going, and you're like, oh, this is excitement. We then put the plan for how it's going to happen. That's the easy bit. And I think people lose connections with their business.
They
And
do.
that's why when people get to the point where they're ready to quit or fail, and I've been there many times, I've been on the job centre looking at jobs, and I still do now, even in my multiple businesses I still have tough days now, and I still go to the supermarket and I go, gosh, I would just love a moment where I could actually just have a job that I know what I'm doing and it's the same every single day. And I wouldn't last more than 3 hours in that, Vicky. My body would be screaming to do something else. So it's not an easy path, but it becomes easier once you start to be in tune with yourself.
Absolutely. I completely and utterly agree. And I suppose that's one of the reasons why we've set up and we're doing these awards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you know, business is hard enough. Then you throw in spirituality, which the traditional and conventional ways of business is not recognized, and being able to bridge that gap. And I love the fact that you help people do it from a bootstrapping perspective rather than getting them into debt perspective. And I absolutely adore what you do, Katie. So just a massive thank you to us, really, for being one of the judges and for supporting this movement. What would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence thinking, I want to be a part of that movement, but I don't really know if it's right for me?
What I would say is, who inspires you out there? You've got somebody that you either look up to or inspires you in the business or the industry you're in. That person once upon a time sat there with a concept and with an idea. They had something bubbling inside them that was desperate to get out. And actually, I've read one, Steve Jobs is brilliant at this, he was, because he had a new product thing. That is part of your spiritual journey. We all have it. Every single human being has it. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, don't. It's about being curious. Curious keeps the creativity. Being curious keeps the attraction. And when you start networking and meeting other people who are people in business, but on their spiritual journey or running spiritual businesses, there is something that will click inside you. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, come and sit on the sidelines, but come and sit in the room and just watch it. Sit on the furthest table at the back if you want, and just watch it, because you will have a feeling, and that feeling speaks more than what any other book or any other course or anything else can do it. You have to plug yourself in. And the more I plug myself in, and even it's now rubbing off on my husband, the more he's now looking to be attuned and go down his own spiritual journey, and where that fits in with his businesses and what we do, the more I see a change in him. And actually, we're becoming better people. We're becoming better people to our families, to our friends, but actually to who we're helping and serving out there in our businesses. So come and explore, come and be curious, and come and have a lot of fun, because it's going to be amazing. I mean, the people that are going to be in the room, the speakers, the awards themselves, it's going to be such a phenomenon. So don't miss out the first, because in 10 years' time, you can turn and go there. I was at the first event. I was at the first symposium, because this is a movement and it's growing.
First history breaking movement, because that's what it is. We're breaking history here. But Katie, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure to connect with you here. So go and check out Katie. Go and find her online, Katie Birkett, Katie-Birkett.
Instagram, yes. Yeah. So I am _ Katie Birkett. I'm on there. Yeah. And I'll be at the event as well. So, you know, once you say hi to me, you've got a friend forever.
Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you so much, Katie. I can't wait to share this experience with you. And once again, you know, we're super duper excited that you've been able to step forward and be one of the judges for this event. For those of you that haven't got your tickets yet, reach out to us, get on the waiting list. We might be able to squeeze you in some way. You never know. All right. We open the door where it's needed. So thank you so much for joining us, Katie, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Thank you. Thank you.